Hello and welcome to Talk Dirty to Manda, where ironically I'm the one saying disgusting things into your ear and you just sit there and take it. Welcome to episode 2. So typically I like to keep my private life private, but at this point of time, what I'm trying to do is clock out on time and actually try to keep up with my hobbies because of no other reason than I am sick of being a slave to my 9 to 5. There's apparently this thing called a personality going around and I don't seem to fucking have it apart from working all the fucking time. So here's me trying to get one. So if you haven't currently followed me on Instagram or YouTube, the handle is Manda Out Loud. That is MandaOutLoud. Thank you, and I'll let you say that you knew me before I was famous. And you know what, guys? I would actually have to thank you as well for following this podcast, which was made very, very much on a whim, and I still somehow have 8 of you listening to and subscribing to this hot mess. So whether I know you in real life or not, thank you so much for the support. It's 8 more people than I ever expected. And a big extra thank you to those who actually submitted into my anonymous inbox. I'm going to try my best to acknowledge each of you the best that I can. Hopefully I don't disappoint. I will have to say that a lot of the questions are related to people and their exes, and I feel like maybe that's something I should get into today. Everyone seems to have an issue with somebody that they used to know or used to see or used to date or used to fuck. So I am going to read out the first one here. Hello to you two. I'm currently dating someone who checks every box on paper. To be fair, we've been dating only 3 months, but I find myself thinking about my ex who treated me like shit. Why, please? Thank you for this submission by I Hate My Ex. No you don't. Or perhaps you do. But whether or not you do, listen, absolutely understandable. I will start by saying that there's 2 people that you have to take into account here, and I think you're very well aware yourself. There is your ex who you hated so much that treated you like shit, and then the current person that you're dating. I am going to start with your ex because to me that is the easiest person to acknowledge in this question. Now you did say that he treated you like shit. That's a little bit ambiguous on my end because I don't know what shit means. But I will assume that he is in no way positive or in no way a positive influence to your life, since I don't actually know how he treated you like shit. And according to your insinuation that 3 months is a fairly short period of time, I'm going to assume that you were dating your ex for longer than 3 months at least. Which means that even though you seem to describe your current partner as someone that's a bit more stable and perhaps a bit kinder, your ex is definitely someone that was a lot more familiar. And before I go a little too cuckoo crazy into trying to dissect this problem, you also said that you were thinking. I don't know what you're thinking. When you say thinking, are we thinking good things like, oh, I really miss this guy, or are we thinking I fucking hate him? I'm hoping it's the latter, but what you might be feeling, or I'm hoping you don't, but you probably do. What you're feeling is probably reminiscing that relationship, even though you're in a much healthier one with this new person. And I hope you know the most of all that you don't actually want to be treated badly by this new person, or at all by anybody. Usually people have this thing that I call graduation goggles, in which you miss something more when you are either about to leave or are leaving something or someone. You don't seem to have that, which is the positive thing. You seem to still acknowledge that he treated you not very nicely. So what's really left is what we call intermittent affection, which is best compared to a dopamine high. So hear me out. So your ex is a vape, essentially. I don't know if you smoke nicotine or not, or take nicotine. I hope you don't. It's very fucking addictive. Even I'm still trying to quit. But your ex is essentially a vape. And your current partner is you when the vape gets lost in your couch. Logically, hear me out. Logically, you know that vapes are bad for you. People still do it anyways. You know he treated you like shit and you were with him anyways. The way vapes are treated as a home remedy for anxiety and calming oneself, right? That's kind of the way that your brain associates the uncertainty and the coldness of your ex to be what you define a relationship. So being treated by anybody negatively it affects your nervous system at the end of the day. There's so many scientific papers that I won't quote here because that's fucking boring. But your nervous system has essentially adjusted to something that's familiar instead of something that is healthy. Now, we're going to come back to the person that you're currently seeing. I will say that you are only 3 months in, and you know that that's not a very long period of time. Now, this is something that caught my eye a little bit, alright? I first described him to be kinder than your ex because, anybody would be kinder than someone who you describe to treat you like shit. But you have actually never said anything particularly nice about that person. You've chosen to describe him as someone who checks every box on paper. Girl, that's not a boyfriend, that's a resume. Now, I will cut some slack and say that I know, you're trying to fit this all into one inbox. Thank you very much again for submitting this. And maybe I've nitpicked and, and you didn't mean to phrase it in that manner where it made him look like a walking, talking CV. Maybe you're someone who's taken the time to find out what you want in a partner, and they just happen to be everything that you want in a partner, and you just don't know them yet, so you see them as a list of the things that you want. If this is news to you, maybe sit down and think if you actually like your current partner. Because I will say, just because they're better than your ex doesn't mean that you have to like them and have to get into a relationship with them. Let's say you do actually like your current partner. Do you want your ex back? Or do you miss the person that you were before your relationship ended with your ex? Those are two things to consider, as well as to why they are someone that you keep thinking about, even though your current relationship is healthier. Yep, but this is where my nagging stops, because I think once you actually like your current partner and time goes on and you get to know them more and you get to love them more, like everything else with time, you are going to forget about how good or how bad your previous relationships were. All the best to you. Thank you so much. I hate my ex. And yay, that was the first ask I've ever gotten for this podcast. I'm delighted. And if you want to add to my happiness, you know where to find my little anonymous submission box. It will be on my social media, on Instagram, Manda Out Loud, as I said. Don't make me do shameless promoting all the time. You'll find the link right there to my website. And please feel free. I would never know who you are. I have made it that way. I don't want to know who you are. And I think you like it that way as well. So the next one, again, very ex-related. Everyone seems a bit hung up with who they used to date, which is fair. Again, I'm not here to judge, trust me. The day I grow the balls to make a whole episode about the people I used to date, I will be sued. Alright, so our next request is from someone called Bubbles. That's so cute. My ex and I broke up almost a year ago. He has a new girlfriend, but he still watches every single one of my stories and randomly likes things I post. That's it. That's the ask. Thank you so much again, Bubbles, for posting this submission to me. I'm going to be honest with you, Bubbles, immediately. This is a non-issue. I'm also going to assume that you're not exactly on talking terms because you are basing your question to me as what he does online. If this is someone who's interacted with you outside of your telephone, I don't think you'll be as hung up over a few likes and views from this person. I will say on his end, I'm a bit 50-50 on it. I know a lot of people, including myself, who watches stories and likes things without actually realizing what they're watching or liking, because scrolling on social media is it uses such a passive part of people's brain these days. I don't even know that I've liked or not liked things on my social media, because it's genuinely, it's, you know, once you scroll after a certain time, it becomes brain rot. And if it's something that you do, you shouldn't read into why other people do it. Because if you like or view things mindlessly, that's the first reason that they could like or view your post. I would be a bit more concerned if he was DMing you, or if he was, or texting you, or showing up to every single party that you're invited to. Then I'll be a bit more concerned. But guessing that he's got a new girlfriend and you broke up quite a bit ago, listen, if you don't like it, or if it causes you to lose your peace in some way, why don't you just unfollow or block him? And I'm not saying this is you, because I think that's too far of an assumption from what you've posted. Just in a general sense, I don't understand why blocking or unfollowing someone is such a stigma on social media. At the end of the day, it's my account, and if I don't want to see someone on it, or if I don't even want someone to see what I'm doing on mine, then yeah, I'll throw them out. It's almost not personal. But if him viewing your stories, if you find yourself noticing that, and if you find yourself having your peace disturbed, then just make his account unfollow yours or block him. And I personally think that if you are worried about his girlfriend, you shouldn't be, because it's not your job. You're not a babysitter. But frankly, yeah, that's all I have to say. That's your solution there. Take it or leave it. And any thoughts of him still liking you because he's doing all that online should be à la poubelle, into the bin, because that is none of your business. And if he still has feelings for you, he should be saying it and not liking your stories and posts. And also, how were you supposed to know? It's not healthy to assume as well, so protect your peace, girl. That's all I have to say. And thank you so much, Bubbles, once again for this submission. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a nice day. And you know what? For the next question, it's fairly ironic now, because I have a submission now from John Doe. Thank you so much for the submission, John Doe. My girlfriend gets upset when other girls are on my IG FYP, my Instagram For You page. Is she a red flag, or am I? Now, it's not exactly the other perspective of the submission from Bubbles, but still, I can't believe I have to acknowledge all of this I get to acknowledge all of this in one podcast, in one sitting. This is great. Timing's lovely. Thank you so much, John Doe. So yes, it depends on what girls are in your FYP. The thing is, I believe that males and females can be friends as long as they're not attracted to each other. There's an extent. I personally wouldn't date a guy who doesn't have any female friends or refuses to have any female friends, because I don't want to date someone who only gets close to women if they see it moving forward somehow sexually or in a romantic way. So if this was female friends that you don't actually have a crush on your For You page, then I don't see why that is an issue. However, if we're talking about Instagram models with the likeness of Sydney Sweeney here, then yeah, I can kind of see why she isn't happy about that. All I have to say is, if the roles were reversed, if every guy that pops up on her For You page is a 6 feet tall, muscular, Dwayne The Rock Johnson physique type of guy, I don't think you'll be very happy either. However, if this is all people you don't know that just pop up to pop up, like on your explore page, then I don't know, maybe fix your algorithm. That one is a little bit of a gray area, because I don't know what you've been liking for those kinds of pictures to pop up, but sometimes they just do pop up. There's not enough detail here to see why she's upset. Like, is this a particular female friend, or Sydney Sweeney, or just some Instagram model who's managed to find a way to take over everyone's For You page? More details needed, John Doe, more details, come on. But thank you so much for submitting anyways, and if you'd like to follow up, inbox is still where you found it. Seems like a bit more of a non-issue as well, unless you tell me what exactly has been popping up to make her so mad. And that's it for me. The next one is from Singlish1. Where have you been? Why you no stream? I miss you. Sorry, this guy from Singapore. I must not like this. Where have you been? Why you no stream? I miss you Oh, I also miss you lah, brother. Actually, I very busy lah. That's why. All the time working lor. Then like you like that lah, working. Then after that you leave Singapore time, then I leave Euro time also. I stream how? You never watch one what? But never mind. See, you say like this then I also already made new stream account call Manda Out Loud, same username. So people like you lor, you miss me lor. Then I don't want to go and stream my old account already because got so many how you say the people don't come on Then just the people who still want to watch lah. You want you go and follow her, okay? I will come back lah. I will come back and chit chat. Don't worry. Thank you for remembering me after all these years. I really !aiyo! paiseh after all these years you still follow me jeez. This is just for short context as well. If you missed my last episode, I used to be a little Twitch streamer online, and apparently there's still demand on Twitch. I don't know that. When I last joined, it was kind of falling apart because nobody really watches live streams anymore. But if you've ever followed me on Twitch, like you only ever knew me from Twitch and you're here listening to my podcast, just know that I genuinely adore you. Thank you so much for following my whatever lousy content I've been putting out. Thank you so much for sticking by me through it all. And I hope you guys know that you were the biggest factor to my confidence at age 27. And I will bless you all. Right, guys, and that's all the submissions I have today. The only thing that I will say to people out there is please date someone you actually like. That's literally all I have to say. Please make sure that when you go to bed at night and you lay next to that person, you actually want them to be in your personal space, which is a very weird note for a podcast to end on. But if you happen to not like the predicament you've put yourself in, you know where my inbox is at. Click the link, submit your submission, and if not, I will be rambling about myself next week, and you just have to sit there and listen, don't ya? Thank you so much again for coming to episode 2. You have yourself a nice day. Bye.